Another one.
Lost in my current QA job. Hi. Hello. So I joined the company as a entry-level QA automation engineer, but I'm currently doing manual testing at first. Okay, that makes sense. I'm with you. How I got hired is a long story, but I was hired after graduating, so it was because I had a passion for this field and I love doing software related stuff. But wait, whoops, my bad. A little too dramatic there. I love doing software related stuff, not because I had experience in QA automation specifically. I was always fascinated by the DevOps part and liked how it combines development and administering systems and environments. And my current manager says he wants to make my position sort of a QA ops engineer. So we'll be doing testing in the scope of containers and pods in Kubernetes, and also testing pipelines with of course some APIs and end-to-end tests here and there. My problem is after discovering the QA field, I honestly don't find it fun to do, as I feel like all the tasks done by testers can be done by a developer, from unit tests up to API and load testing, just like in SDET. So, if someone can elaborate more on the part of combining DevOps and QA automation and tell me what are the tasks and technologies used when testing in that scope. Also, I'd like to hear feedback on the part that the developers can do the testers' tasks. Well, that is a great question, and I am so happy that you asked it. So, and I've answered this type of question before, but I don't think it's here, right? So let's go first with the developers doing all the testing, right? And there's no need. I need to get a "you're fired" sound bite, because why do you need QA if developers can just do the job, right? Because if the first reason, right? If the developers could also do QA, which technically they can, when would any software get developed, right? And the worst thing that you can have is the person who developed the software also test their own software, right? You feel what I'm saying? The person who developed the software also building or also testing the software. It doesn't work that well, right? But the very first reason, if QA was to, if QA was no more and developers had to do it, all of it, right? When would they actually have time to
If
develop?
you enjoyed the fascinating information shared in this video and you want more, be sure to hit the subscribe button to Tech Coach Ralph to be notified for new videos.
Right? But the integration testing, the QA mindset. So the second part is the QA mindset, right? You heard Andrew last week say that he used to be a developer and then he went into QA. And as a developer, his thought was, all right, how do I build working software? But as a QA, how do I break what is supposed to be working software? How do you context switch like that if you're only one developer, right? You're gonna end up with split personalities and being bipolar and everything like that, right? It's not gonna work out too well, and that's what QA brings. That risk assessment that QA brings. Should we do this at this time? How does and then QAs, they are also customer advocates, right? Thinking about, okay, is this the right user functionality? Because developers, developers can develop the hell out of anything, right? But is this the right move for the customer? So that's how to answer that question, right? Number one, like developers are not going to have time to do every single task. Like, so that means you want the developers to actually build the software, to write the unit test. Then they have to write the test cases. They have to create the test plan. They need to write the automated test for it. They need to do the manual testing that's necessary, right? They need to build a pipeline that the tests are going to run through, all of that stuff, right? So while we're at it, well, can the developers also own the product, right? Can they manage the project as well? Technically, yeah. Anybody can do it, but can a dentist provide like regular medical advice? They can. Should they? Probably not. Now, that's why we have different roles. And do you ever plan on getting to market? So that's that part of it, right? Now, the second part is a lot quicker about the QA ops thing, right? I mean, if you had to combine with QA all the things that QA does, right? It would be dev, QA, sec, ops, management, support, right? But at the end of the day, we're just QA, right? We're QA engineers. We might be SDETs, whatever, right? But our ultimate focus is what is the quality of the software that we're delivering? Are our customers happy, right? So if you want to call it QA ops, great. I'm a QA ops. I'm a QA architect, whatever the case may be. I don't really care. I just want to continue to deliver dope software, right? And because you see me learning Terraform on the live stream, right? You see me going to Docker, right? What QA engineer is building Docker images outside of me, outside of Don, right? I'll tell you this. If I come across a resume and it says Docker on it, I'm like, oh, okay. I like that. If I see Terraform on it, I'm like, oh, I like that even more. Tell me more. If I see like you're in like you're dabbling in AI and stuff like that, I'm like, oh, this is the type of person I want on my team. This is the type of person that I want on my team. And using Docker, using Kubernetes, using containers, setting up infrastructure. I'm with it. I think that's great. But the very first and the most important thing for QA is making sure that the customer's needs are met. And it's not like you're doing one by one things for the customer. No, the value that you're adding into the software that you're building is for all of your customers, and you are that customer's advocate, and that is the goal. Some people, like I remember a few months ago, I said, "What is the most important thing about developing software or about QA?" And some people were saying, "Oh, it's about the requirements being met, the specs, and all that." I'm like, "No, it's about customer satisfaction. If your customers are satisfied, the specs can change, right? Because we're building towards the needs of our customers, of our stakeholders." All right. So think about that. Think about that. All right. You think, and I'm going to say, you think that, like you don't find it fun to do QA because the task can be done by testers. And that's the problem. You're seeing them as testers, right? I'm an engineer. Don is an engineer. Andrew's an engineer. Sean, even if he's not aware of it yet, he is an engineer, right? But we engineer quality. What's the definition of engineer? Let's pull that up real quick, right? A person who designs, builds, or maintains engines, machines, or public works. The verb design and build a machine or a structure, right? We're engineers, right? And the same way that you're doing the QA ops and stuff like that, you won't even have that position if you do not care about the quality of your software. And if you want to dump it all on the developers, the application is never going to get built. So then they really won't need you, right? So think about that. And before we go to our next question, Don says, don't be a robot, be a unicorn. And we are always solving for X. And our motto is always be solving. All right, so that's that.
If you enjoyed the fascinating information shared in this video and you want more, be sure to hit the subscribe button to Tech Coach Ralph to be notified for new videos.